What's happening, everybody? As promised, I'm going to continue this video. It's going to be part 2 of the honeypot topic, gang stalking, honey trap, gang stalking. I'm going to share a little story, maybe so we could break it down. So what comes to mind is this one honey trap, probably a Fed, probably a ops, probably working for the Freemasons. There was this girl that I met one time, and back in the day, and at that time, I was into these specific type of girls, which I'm not into anymore, because I know they're nothing but trouble, daughters of Satan. But at the time, I was into them, right? It's like I was brainwashed or conditioned, trained to look at them as superior, right? To look at them as, slave masters, which a lot of brothers get caught up in that dichotomy. So there was this girl, and I met her one night. I was at this event. I won't get into too many details. And let's just say I was the man at the event. Let's keep it real, right? Not going to front. So I had a lot of options. And along comes this birdie with a massive rack, big blue eyes, gigantic, devilish blue eyes. And we met and we were talking, and I was like, yo, I'm into this. She tells me she has a boyfriend. I know the guy, so I'm not going to be disrespectful. Never been my style. So I say, cool, Okay, I respect that. So she says to me, but if we run into each other again, it's meant to be. I'm like, okay, I guess. Cool. So some time goes by, and I don't see her for a while. Months go by. And I run into her again. And I say, hey, what happened? You told me if we run into each other again, it's meant to be. She tells me, well, sorry, I'm still in a relationship. I say, okay, I respect that because I know the guy. I'm not trying to move in on his territory. Never been me. And so she disappears. Time goes by. I start having a lot of success at what I'm doing. And I get an email one day. And all it says is, I'm single now. And I thought, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, you kind of snubbed me off a couple times. I'm in a good place right now. I'm not really down for this. But sure, why not? Let's give it a try. Little did I know, I was being honeypotted, honey trapped. So we link up, she comes around, and I'm starting to think, yo, man, look at this. Back in the day, she was real fine. Like I said, I was into that type of girl. So now I want to make it official. And she does too. She used to drink a lot. Alcoholic. I think at that time I was drinking too, but wasn't anything too severe. It's like I didn't really have a problem with it. It was just occasionally, or maybe a little bit more than occasionally. Okay, maybe I had a little bit of a problem. As much as the average, I guess you could say. So we make it serious. We connect. She coming out around more. Almost right off the bat, she starts causing problems. Starts getting a little bit too drunk at my functions. Starts kind of acting a bit of a fool. Starts purposely flirting with people in front of me. I'm being honeypotted. Didn't even know it. Here I am thinking that this is just the way it is, but it was a setup. So as I'm falling for this pattern, this cycle, you know, it's that push-pull tactic, you know, where they push you away and pull you at the same time while we're together. And then we're fighting a lot. You know, people get dragged into that stuff, right? And I was young and dumb, so what do? Thinking to make the relationship better or stronger, we move in together. I'm going to keep this video shorter today because I don't need to tell all the details. I'm just going to get to the points. So we move in together. Now she acting a real fool. Now she being brought home by police, super drunk, out of her mind. Who knows? The police who brought her there was probably a Freemason. Who knows? They might even had a thing together. I don't even know. These honeypots are something else. Can't rule anything out with them. They'll fake a relationship with you. So I remember one night, she gets brought home by the cops, missing wallet, missing purse, all mess. Comes home, starts a fight as usual. Can't even talk, can't even speak, can't even enunciate the words correctly coming out of her mouth. And comes home and tries to tell me what's up. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Look at you. You a mess. What am I doing? At this point, we've probably been together for about 1.5 years, 2 years, dealing with this madness. I remember this other time we were at like an event. It's a big function. A lot of people are there. She had been drinking. I actually was inspired to stop drinking because of this girl. I quit drinking. I didn't have a sip of alcohol for 7 years. 7 years. And I was involved in an industry where it was all you could drink anytime you want. And I didn't have a sip in 7 years because of this woman, this honeypot, honey trap. I remember she would drink, especially beer. She liked to drink beer. Her friends liked to drink too. I didn't like her friends either. And once she reached about 3 drinks, 3 beers, she'd get this look in her eyes where she would just look at me. And I would just go, oh, here we go. Let's get ready. What's going to happen now? Who knows? Round and round she goes. Will she stop? No one knows. So we get to the event. She's already drunk, drinking. We separating. Like I'm staying away from her because I know how she get when she drinking, when she drunk. And somebody comes up to me and says, yo, man, what's up with your girl? I said, what you mean? She said, I asked if you were there. Said my name. I asked if you were here. And she looked at me and she said, I don't know. I don't care. F that person. They told me, they was like, what the hell? I was like, I know. That's what I'm dealing with. This is my everyday norm. So I remember later that night, she got kicked out. She got kicked out of the club because she was taking other people's beers from the bar. When the bartender would go put people's beers up there, she'd take it and drink it. So she got kicked out. And then I had to find out from the staff that she was kicked out. And so she's out the door there, cold outside, no jacket, crying, asking for guess who? Guess who she asking for now? It kind of goes without saying, right? It's obvious. So there I am out there. I got to get her coat. I got to console her. I got to confront her, comfort her. She's crying. There were so many other things that happened too. But moral of the story is, if you got a purpose on your life and you're a targeted individual and they know who you are, I ended up staying with that honeypot trap for 3 years of my life. 3 of the most conflictual, infested years, dealing with BS, problems I shouldn't have to deal with, slowing down my progress, messing up my flow, interfering with my purpose. Honey trap. Honeypot. Honeypot trap. So that's an example, a shortened example of what it's like to be honeypotted. So I hope you like the content. Share, like, and subscribe. I'll keep dropping more stories, more experiences. Love to hear from you guys. Reach out, connect. Peace out.